Good evening, Uncle Al. Thank you for coming. I'm showing 3 in the house. You're the first to leave a comment. Hope you're doing well. I had been looking at your shorts. You've been putting out some good food shorts, I guarantee you that. I really have enjoyed them. I will put out a short tomorrow. It's been a while since I put out a short. Baking sounds good. I love baking. Good things to eat. You used to be able to get really good stuff at the bakeries. They would make really good stuff back in the day. Not quite the same as it is now. Been a long week. It was a rough day. The last couple of days been a little bit rough. I got a new kid in from California. Some of the ones that are coming to Texas are not the ones that you want, I'll tell you that much. It is 7 p.m. or just after 7 p.m. Friday, April the 12th. Tax day is Monday. You got to get your taxes in, or you got to file for an extension. Four in the house, 1 like. Please leave a like to support the channel. My patriotic flag Zippo. It is Friday, so in honor of Friday. Whoops, second try. Fired up Friday. Zippo. I much prefer matches. These are military matches. First strike on these. I've used a few of these from this particular. They come in MREs. It's always good to have these are the storm matches. You get 25. These go for about $5, and I got these for $1.50. And when you can buy stuff for $1.50 that's normally $5, buy a bunch of it. It's another one. And I've got the Sterno ones, the big ones. These are nice. It fits those matches. And it's a nice protective case. Comes with a couple of the strikers. Good stuff, good stuff. Melinda Elliott, welcome Melinda Elliott. 5 in the house, 3 likes. Thank you for the second thumb. Little Lone Prepper, good evening. Welcome to my live stream. Oh, God, Wayne. So you see this monster right here? This is a Pecron power station. Uncle Al says it's a battery, it's a power station. It's not a generator. Well, it uses the sun to generate power. You could use wind if If you have a turbine, you can charge it with the turbine. I have solar panels, 8 of them on my patio roof. I can plug it in the kitchen and it charges, or you can charge it with electricity. This is a, I need to do an unboxing. Been sitting there, oh God almighty. And right next to it, I'm slapping another one. It's a Blue Eddy. So I got 2 power stations I need to do unboxings on. I've got a Nation MRE Finds. How are you doing? Thank you for coming in. It's been a while since we've seen each other. I need to go over and visit you. Watch some of those ration reviews. I really love the ration reviews. It's been a while since I've been over to visit. I've been working. I'm behind on everybody. I'm even behind on Mike Crusher. You know, Mike Crusher reviews, I'm behind on him. I'm behind on Addy O'Near. You know. I can remember back in the days, I did a few more ration reviews than I haven't done a ration review in a while. It's been a while since I've done a ration review. Last ration review I did got about 500 views. And I haven't done them. But I tell you, I can remember back in the day I did several in a row, and Uncle Al said, "Oh, he's a ration channel." No, I'm not a ration channel. I have over 500. I have over 500 various whatever, and I may have 20 ration reviews out of 500. You know that I've done. So no, I'm not. I am a preparedness, what I guess you'd call a prepper. I call myself a prepper. So, you know, just laughing. You gotta laugh. It's been a long week. I'm not getting notifications of live streams anymore. I have to go to your channel in the live section to watch. I wish the stream would go back to normal. I don't know what to tell you. So, Nation, are you teaching, or are you taking classes? I don't remember. I went back to teaching this year, so I've got 5 weeks before summer, and I'll have a little over 2 months off during the summer, which I'll be able to play with the channel a little bit more, put out a little bit more content. Just hadn't done it. And I need to make a note to come over and visit you. Five in the house, 3 likes. Please leave a like. I'm a student at Augusta Tech here in Georgia. My father's family is from Georgia. I got sad news last night. My Uncle Howard, who's the last one of my father's siblings, the baby of the family, he passed away. He would be 94 in July. 93 years old. He passed away. My cousin Rhonda called me, let her know her dad had passed away. And I feel real bad about it, because from where I live, it'd be every bit of a 20-hour hard drive. If I wanted to drive, I used to drive straight through when I'd go to visit. It's been a long time since I've done that, but I would drive straight through. And I'd schedule it so I would go through, because I hate driving through Houston. Most of it is highway on the 10, but I'd have like a 45-minute trip through Houston. And you do not want to go during the day. So I would schedule it so I'd go through Houston. I would leave, and I would go through Houston about 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, I'd go through Houston about 2 o'clock in the morning, so that I was smooth sailing through Houston. Late night Houston, smooth sailing on the. But I mean, you go during any time there's traffic there. But anyway, Uncle Howard, my father's baby brother, passed away. May he rest in peace. Matter of fact, if you want to listen to, I had a call. My cousin called me, and I figured something's going on because she called me, and she called me during my live stream, and I just basically started talking, and everybody's doing their thing, and I'm basically not paying attention, and I'm for 15 or 20 minutes talking to my cousin about what happened with my, on my live stream, and I do apologize for those of you who were here last night, but you got to hear one side of the story. We were talking. Yeah, Atlanta's like Houston. It is. Yeah, please hit the like button. Fulton County, the most populous county in Georgia. Over 6 million people in Fulton County. That's the greater Atlanta area. Fulton County. And yeah, driving that's no. My Uncle Howard used to live in a suburb of Atlanta called Tucker. Dave of Guru and Wahoo, and now it's Yoda of cards, Yoda vintage cards or something like that. Dave, he used to live suburb of Atlanta, and I know it well. Atlanta is not a place you want to go right now. It is not a place you want to be. Luckily, the family is no longer in Atlanta or suburb. They're out in the country. So if I go back to Georgia, I don't have to go to Atlanta. Thank God. Yeah, it is a mega region. But I guarantee you, you do not want to drive through Houston, Texas. You do not want to drive through. San Antonio's not bad, Houston has about twice the population of San Antonio. San Antonio's 1.5 million people. San Antonio's not bad. It's laid out as such that it's not bad. It really is. They laid it out well. Houston, no. Nope. Don't want to be anywhere around there. The other thing, you go to these what they call blue cities. Well, Houston's sort of a blue city. Atlanta is definitely a blue city. They got a high crime rate, and they don't really prosecute criminals in Atlanta. They do a better job in Houston. Do a better job. Yeah, it is. Well, it's like Dallas Fort Worth, that area up there, or the area between San Antonio and Austin. It's like a big corridor. Yeah. Mega areas, yes. I can remember back in the day, I used to like to go to San Marcos. I love to go to the factory stores, the factory outlet stores. You had a huge factory outlet mall. I'd go there and I'd spend money. I'd go about twice a year, and I'd buy most of my clothes, my shoes, various toys and such there. We'd eat. I used to enjoy it. Back in the day when I'd carry an American Express card. Now I carry debit and cash. Yeah, they do need to clean up. I tell you, I've been watching news clips where politicians have been changing party. They've been changing their party. They're very unhappy. If they believe in anything that's in the least bit conservative or moderate, you got the woke left going after them. They don't want them to. They don't want them to profess their faith. They don't want them to believe in Second Amendment. They don't want them to believe in, anything that's halfway Christian. And there was a state senator who said he'd had enough of it and he was changing. He just declared himself a Republican. You know, and you don't see news clips where they talk about the flight. You don't see them. They don't talk. They're in a little echo chamber, and they don't want to. They got their talking points and they don't want to talk about. It's not their reality, and reality is not the same thing. Mental zombies. That's right. I was listening to Bill O'Reilly. I watch a lot of his clips, Bill O'Reilly. And he was talking about, the good, the bad, the ugly. He said that the bad is about 15%. The good, well, the good is about 35%. And then about 50% of the ones that just they're either intimidated, they don't care. They can change, they can be brought around, but you got to really work on them. Got to really work on them. Yeah, they do. Something will happen. I hate these little gnats and such. Something will happen. And when it does, it will wake up a lot of these so-called independents. The people who are sitting on the, I don't know what the heck that little thing was. Whatever it was, I think it was a little spider. Whatever it was is dead. Huh. I get cobwebs. And I occasionally kill a spider. So, the scariest time I've ever had driving was through Fancy Gap at night, and it was completely fogged in. It was so thick that I couldn't see more than a few feet ahead, not even tail lights. So scary. I hear you. Mom of 4 boys, welcome. Rachel. Mom of 4 boys. So I will offer this disclaimer again. I have been running live streams on my watch list. I make a playlist, and I will run it overnight, and then the following day, I run a stream last night, several live streams for people, and after I got off work today, came in, got settled, and then I went and each one I hit and I full replay, like number, blessings. And I do that for people who do that for me. And sometimes I go a day or two without hitting somebody. Some of the live streams are like 3 hours long. You play theirs, it's like a 3-hour live stream. Mine are usually about an hour. Some of them are 30 minutes. Like the other day, I did Melinda Elliott's. I did 2 over 30-minute live streams, did full replays, left likes. And I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, I did not watch them. I don't have time to watch them. I have to make an effort to do my live stream because sometimes I'm tired. Like I'm tired today. I had to take a couple of Tylenol today. Went into my carry bag and pulled out a sample pack of different types of meds. And I pulled out and opened up one of the little packs and took a couple of Tylenol. I had a headache. I think it was my blood pressure. But after about 30 minutes, the headache went away. Stress. I've got a new kid that's killing me. It's killing my aides, It's killing the assistant principal. I feel sorry for the AP. We met with the parent today, this morning. And then we had another incident this afternoon. It's like, God, It's like God Almighty. And Tuesday, my campus, there's a window for testing window for STAR. Tuesday, we start testing. We'll be testing sixth grade reading, and then Wednesday we'll be testing sixth grade math. And they want to test these kids they're going to test them in the gym, and they want to test the whole group. And I said, you want my kids to go test in the gym? And they want me to stay in my room with the other kids, and they're going to let another teacher, and maybe one of my paraprofessionals will go over. Okay, whatever you say. It's like I can't warn you. It's like you really want to rethink this. It's like for whatever reason, when they had the pandemic, and things really shut down, and they were desperately working on a vaccine, and then it came out that they delayed the announcement of the vax until after the election to try to hurt Trump. Honestly, they did that. They had it ready, but they didn't want to announce it until after the election. And Trump had pushed and pushed and pushed to get the thing done, and they got done. And then so it didn't help him. The announcement didn't come till after the election. And then they were pushing, to, before he left office, he was pushing, trying to get the vaxes out and get people inoculated. And they inoculated over a couple of million people. They were pushing hard. And they'd already done a big chunk of inoculations. And then the new administration came in and started trying to take credit. They hadn't been involved with the damn thing, and they started taking credit for everything. But it's funny, somebody new comes into a position and they want to take credit for what's going well, and if something's not going well, they want to blame the previous administration. Even if the bad stuff happens when they were in the office, they try to blame it on the previous. When Obama was president, he every damn thing that he was doing and everything that was, he wanted to blame on Bush. It was Bush all through his first term. He was into his second term, stuff going on in his term in office, and he's trying to blame it on Bush, who had been out of office for 5 years. It was Bush administration, Bush. And the current administration is trying to blame the border problem on the previous administration. Well, the previous administration had a remain in Mexico policy. They had Mexico on board with it, and they had really, really decreased the number of illegals coming over. Really seriously decreased it. And they were deporting them. And as soon as the new administration came in, all those executive orders and all the agreements and everything were torn up, and it's like, open the door, here they come. And now they're saying, oh, the previous administration. All this problem we're having today is the previous administration. They lie. They will lie to your face. Politicians will lie to your face. They'll have a straight face and they'll lie to you. And they think you're stupid enough, and a lot of people are stupid enough to believe them. The communists, the Communist Manifesto and all this crap, and Chomsky. You tell a lie often enough, and people will believe you. Keep telling that lie. Keep hitting those talking points, and people will believe you. It was all Russia collusion. It was Russia. And then when you call them out on it, and you call them out with proof, they scatter. They don't want to be anywhere around. They don't know what you're talking about. Or they accuse you of lying. You got the proof? Well, there's no proof. Proof can be right there. There's no proof. I'm sorry. I needed to do a rant. Uncle Al, he's always saying, careful. By God, he puts out more than I ever do. He gets going. He puts out, and he tells it the way it is. And do I need to be saying, Uncle Al, careful, Uncle Al, careful? Yeah, it was. Yep, yep. It's me, Angie. How you doing, Angie? Yeah, I was over on your stream visiting you, and I appreciate you coming back to visit me. Now, Angie, something I don't remember if you did it for me or not, but I give everybody a blue wrench that comes into my live streams. You come into my house, I welcome you, and I give you a wrench. So I'm making you a standard moderator. You're now a standard moderator on my channel. You have 1.24 subscribers, 466 videos. I am going to share you out. Welcome. Next time I come over, return the favor. I always behave, and I always leave a like, and I do leave supportive comments. I encourage everybody to do that to each other. Yeah, when I had more time, I used to visit her, and I'd actually spend some time, and yeah, she puts out good content, and she is a sweet person. My problem is, my problem is that I just don't have the time, and I sort of force myself sometimes to. I force myself to do live streams when I really may not feel like it, But I will tell you, I'm old school. I've worked this entire school year, and I've not missed one day. And I have been sick. When I came back to teach, having been out of education for 5 years, stuff's going around with the kids. Hadn't been around them. I got sick 3 or 4 times in the period of a couple of months. Anything that was out there, I was catching. And that's the way it is, When you're not around, and you come around a new population, they got stuff, you catch it. Well, wonderful. Yeah, I love babies. I love grandbabies. One day I hope to be a grandfather myself. So, talking about preparedness and the need to prepare. I will also tell you, I can talk about different channels that I've visited, and like some of them, like Nation Finds MREs, or Nation MRE Finds. Sorry. I've looked at a lot of his stuff. In the past, his was one of the 4 or 5 channels that I would watch when it came to rations. And I would try to consistently, and he would watch mine. And the way things usually work is when you're giving people love, they give you love back. You give them consistent love, they give you consistent love. But I went back to work, and I went from doing 6 or 7 hours of YouTube a day to doing maybe an hour and a half a day. And I was struggling to answer all the comments. I'm doing videos, and I'm getting 100 or more comments from different people. And and a lot of these comments are like, they're comments, they're like, they took some time to say something, And then it's like I felt honor bound to, they ask me a question or they say something, that, I mean, I need to really respond, with sincerity. And that takes time. It really does take time. And I've got people today, they'll that I value, that will come in and they will write me a paragraph. They'll boom, 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 boom. It's like, hey, and they're giving me good stuff. Preparedness veteran, PV, he's from Britain. Man, he comes in, he's a very intelligent man. He knows more about this kind of stuff than I ever will. And he boom, 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 or he'll comment on something that I talked about. And I know he's watching my stuff because he'll comment on something that I said 30 minutes in, And the Black Widow channel, welcome. If you have not left a like, please leave a like to support the channel. And I don't know, I try to do at least an hour. Sometimes I get a little long-winded, but I try to do an hour. And some of my live streams, I'll have 100 views. Some of them, 35 or 40. I don't know. It can, from one day to the next. I can go from 100 views to maybe 50. I don't know. I really don't know. It happens. I think the one I did yesterday was about 60 some odd views. The one I did before, previous one I did was 100, and then the one I did before that was like maybe 80. If you go and you look at my numbers, look at the numbers. I'm sitting at 1,550 subscribers right now. And it's been hopping between 1,549 to 1,550. I haven't hit 1,551 yet. And I went for a period where I didn't, no growth. Pick up a couple, lose a couple, pick up a couple. And then in the last week or so, I picked up over 30. So it's just, I grow in spurts. A lot of people, when they hit like they start getting towards like 500, or they start getting towards 1,000, for some reason, a lot of people say it's hard to get over 1,000, to get your 1,000. And I've seen people struggle to get their 1,000. They can be just short of it. Uncle Al struggled to get his 2,000. When he was right at 2,000, he was really struggling. For whatever reason, he'd gain some and he'd lose some. He'd gain some and he'd lose some. Justin Green, Pastor Green, I broke my back trying to get him that 1,000. I was constantly shouting him out and constantly talking to people, encouraging them. If you got a backup channel, subscribe on your backup channel. Finally he got over 1,000. And right now I think he's like somewhere around 1,020. And that's been like a couple of months ago that he went over that 1,000. And in the last couple of months he's had like maybe less than 20 new views, new subscribers. I don't know. Honest to God, I don't know. And that's true. Funny thing is, there are channels that were smaller than me. That used to come on my live streams, used to come up when I was doing a lot more. And I had 200, 300, 400 more subscribers than they did. And we were both growing. If you look at Old Fart Gamer, go to Old Fart Gamer 2023. I had a lot bigger channel than he did. Now his channel's like maybe 3 times the size of mine almost. He's like close to 4,000 subscribers. his channel blew up, and he basically does gaming, and he's doing live streams now. But he's into gaming, and he'll put up gaming stuff on his channel. And I mean to tell you, his channel blew up. You know, and there are channels that were bigger than me. I mean, I'll cite another friend of mine. Great channel, great content. SD Mountain Man Scott, and he puts out good content. I really enjoy it. And if you go to his channel, thank him for his service. He's ex-military, and his channel was twice the size of mine at one time before I started growing. And he's now at like 900. And again, and I'm not bragging, I'm just, for some reason, he was just growing slow. I mean, one of the best ration channels you can go to is Mike Crusher Reviews. Great reviews. And, you know, and I've been with him for a long time, and I've watched everything I'm a few videos behind right now, but I've watched everything he's done, minus the few that I haven't caught yet. And I think he's getting somewhere around 500 subscribers now. You know, and he should have. I mean, there are channels that are huge that do reviews and such, and his stuff is better than theirs, and they've got 20 times the number of subscribers he has. And I don't understand it sometimes. I don't understand it. Oh, that map, that's a hurricane map. I've got magnets up on it. If we had a storm, I could track a storm. That's old school. That's the way, 40 years ago, my uncle, may he rest in peace, he had a big map of the Gulf of the Gulf of Mexico. And he would track her, and back then, and I lived down in Corpus. Talk about the weather. We get storms just about every year. Might be a tropical storm, get a bad hurricane every 3-4 years. But we get storms, and they'd come in around and near us. I guess it was just the weather pattern at the time. We were just in the pipeline, and then you got to a point where it seems like Louisiana, right there around New Orleans, that was Grand Central Station for storms, And same thing with Florida, They for whatever reason, just the weather patterns and such, you get, and you're just the target. You're the target, and you better get used to it. So they talk about climate change, and I guess that's climate change, but they talk about global warming and all this stuff, and I don't know. Well, I'm in Texas. I don't know if you're talking to me or if you're talking to somebody else. Would everybody like to indicate? Just write a comment of what state you live in. Please try that. Just everybody drop a comment about what state you live in. So I would basically say Texas. There, I did it first. Yeah, Texas. Texas. If the rest of you'd like to chime in, Mama Four Boys is in Ohio. A lot of my friends are in Ohio. The Black Widows in Tennessee. Angie's in Mississippi. Yeah, Little Lone Preppers in North Carolina. Uncle Al's in the boonies of California. I think Uncle Al's more southern, eastern California. Southeastern. Nation MRE finds is in Georgia, my father's home state. All these are good areas. Well, I will say Uncle Al's like in a socialist republic out there, but but most of these states are good states. You know, they tend to be a little redder. But you know, if you look at California, you look at the rural areas of California, they vote red, but there's just not that many people in them. I think there's part of California wanted to secede and form its own state, or it wanted to, you know, it was wanting to link up with another. Well, you know, a lot of those, you know, blue hellhole states, um, their rural areas and their rural counties want us that you know they do not like having the big pest holes make the decisions for them. And I mean, if you look at like Illinois, if it wasn't for Chicago, Chicago would not vote blue. I mean, Illinois would not vote blue if it wasn't for Chicago. New York City, that's the reason why New York votes blue. You know, you get these big liberal, you know, socialist republic areas. Los Angeles, San Francisco, the big blue areas. Yeah, yep. And I've looked at some clips, you know, like areas that don't have, they're not very densely populated. They tend to be very, very conservative. Very conservative. Um, there were some rhino type, never Trumper type people in Congress. I think there was like about 10 of them that voted with the other side, and most of them got primaried, and I think 8 of the 10 they're no longer in office. You know, I think 8 of the 10, if I'm not mistaken, lost their seats for what they did. And I think there were a couple of senators. Yeah, there was a couple of senators, and they pretty much run them off. And Romney will not be. Romney will not be back. There's a woman up in Maine. You know, for whatever reason, she's more of a. I don't really consider her a Republican. And then the one up in Alaska, and they got a weird system up there about, you know, how they elect people. You know, these never Trumpers that really drank some nasty Kool-Aid. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Um, so, getting back to prepping. Oh, and for those of you who are here, it's Fired Up Friday. I did this early on. This is a little U.S. flag Zippo made in the United States. Well, when I did it earlier, it was second try and it lit. I smell it, but it's not. There you go. Golly Jesus. If I had to depend on this thing, I'd be in a world of hurt. Now, it may or may not happen this time, but I'm going to show you. This came out of a MRE pack. I have used this 4 or 5 times to light sterno, and it's always first pull. First pull. First pull. I'm using the same one. I still got maybe 15 or so strikes on this one. I got tons of these, you know. You don't really want to use these in a wind. So indoors, fine. Undercover, fine. You don't want a lot of wind. Now, these you can do fine. It can be windy or whatever. Stormproof. About $5 a box. I usually put one of these in my little goodie boxes and such. There's like 25 in here. I paid $1.50 a box for these on sale. Clearance. When you get stuff on clearance, buy them. Buy on clearance. Buy it on clearance. Yeah, that's true, Uncle Al. And you got it right, Mom. 4 boys. Jim and Tammy Faye. Tammy Faye. And the partners. He wanted to spend some time in prison. And that woman wore more makeup than you could imagine. You know, she looked like she was a streetwalker with all that makeup on. Yeah, and when he got out of prison, he went back into the ministry. He started back up on you know, he wasn't the main guy, but he was in one of those groups that, you know, he'd come in, he participated. Yep. And I think they wound up getting divorced, if I'm not mistaken, if I recall correctly. And I think they probably passed by now. And then there was Jimmy Swaggart. Remember Jimmy Swaggart? Cousin to Mr. Great Balls of Fire in Louisiana. I've sinned against you, my Lord. Remember that one? I've sinned against you, my Lord. We used to joke about Debbie Does Swaggart. He apparently had a relationship with and her name was Deborah or Debbie. And there was a porn movie at one time, 50 years ago or whenever it was, I don't know. Way back when there was a called Debbie Does Dallas. I've never seen it, but I know the titles of some of the big ones, you know, because it's stuff on the news. And there used to be an old joke about Debbie Does Swaggart. They were going to make a movie called Debbie Does Swaggart, you know, because Jimmy Swaggart and his adultery or cheating on his wife or whatever with I think it was a church secretary or somebody, I don't know. That's back 30 years ago, I don't know. Jerry Lee Lewis, yeah, the killer. He got in trouble because he married his 12-year-old, I think she was 12, 13, 14-year-old. He married his cousin. Second cousin. I think it was his second cousin. Big scandal. And people really turned on him. Big scandal. He used to do a whole lot of shaking going on. So I think that was his signature song. Great Balls of Fire and a whole lot of shaking going on. Well, the Assemblies of God had like three big scandals. They had Jim and Tammy Faye, and they had Jimmy Swaggart, and then there was another one. I think they had like three big scandals. Ha ha, I ran into Tammy Faye at the wall, yeah. Olstein, yeah. I was told that an ad runs on my channel for Olstein. I had nothing to do with it. Had nothing to do with it. He's had some scandal stuff going on. There's a big thing here a while back when they had that storm. He wouldn't let people in his church. He had it locked down. He did not want anybody in the church. And you know, I don't have any problem with a pastor having $100,000 a year salary. I mean, to live in a nice home, to have a nice vehicle for him and his wife, to put his kids through school, to be able to afford. I have no problem with a pastor making $100,000 a year, maybe a little more. But when you're talking millions and millions and millions of dollars, that's not what the Lord intended. That's not what the Lord intended. And and then you get these people. Now back in the days they didn't have colleges. They didn't have universities. And when the Lord has His ministry, the great intellectual, the one that really was the powerhouse scholar, that was Saul of Tarsus, who God called Paul. He was an apostle, but he was not part of the original 12. And you had Judas Iscariot, who died. He betrayed the Lord, committed suicide, died, and then they had to replace him. And Saul had been Pharisees had been raised scholar, rabbi, scholar, powerhouse, and they had him out prosecuting the Christians. And he would go and hunt them down, and they'd try them and put them down. And on the road to Damascus, the Lord struck him down, blinded him. Why are you persecuting me? He had a close encounter with the Lord, And then he got his sight back, and then he was the Lord's man for the remainder of his life. And his ministry, his travels, the Acts, the letters that he wrote, I mean, he really, and he would have been what you'd call the apostle to the Gentiles. Peter was more, his ministry was more apostle to the Jews. He did minister to Gentiles. It shocked the crap out of Peter when the Holy Spirit came unto a group of Gentiles where he was at, and they all started speaking in tongues. You know, the Lord, the power of the Holy Spirit went into them, and they started speaking in tongues. Shocked him, really shocked him. Because his thing was like, you got to accept all the Jewish stuff. And Paul, like, you got to be circumcised. Can you imagine a grown person having to be circumcised? And that happened. And with the knives that they had, ooh, Lord have mercy. I wouldn't know anybody getting near my, they would normally do that to babies. Mr. Whistle, welcome, Mr. Whistle. Thank you for coming in. I can talk history all day long. Yep, it would be. Well, he does, Olstein does not have the credentials. Like, if you want to become a Baptist minister, you got to have a master's in theology. You got to go through, get the credentials. A lot of these denominations, they will ordain you, and you have no formal education when it comes to Scripture. You just basically have the calling. And some of the stuff that they put out, not having the training and not really knowing what they're talking about, because some of them don't, they do more harm than they do good. Yeah. Yeah. So, been a slow evening, and I appreciate you guys coming in. 6 in the house, 6 likes. If you have not left a like, please leave a like to support the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. I don't know. Slow night, slow night. Tomorrow is Saturday. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I need to get SD Mountain Men's box put together. I apologize. I sent a box of 4. I sent a couple of the green sauces and a couple of the green Cholulas to my friend Dave in Georgia. He just got it today. He loves that Cholula sauce, and thank you for turning me on to it, Uncle Al. Thank you for sending it to me. Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of other people out. There's a lot of live streams going on. You can't be in 2 places at once, and there'll be people who will stop by and afterwards, and they'll leave a like and they'll leave a comment. I will try to get some stuff done this weekend. I'll try to drop 1 or 2 more shorts. I'll try to do some community wall posts and some shout outs, and I'll try to get Scott's goodie box out so I can start working on the next one. I've got 2 power stations. I got a Pecron and I've got a Blue Eddy that I need to unbox. I need to do videos of that. A lot of stuff I need to do. I just got my taxes done this past week finally, and I just mailed out my check today. You'd be surprised at how much I had to send them. Life is good, but it is what it is. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Thank responders. Every day when you wake up, thank God for the day. Say the Lord's Prayer. Lead by example. Truly. Life is good, but it is what it is. Remember, the Scout motto is to be prepared. Preparedness. You need to have an inventory of what you have. You need to make a list of what you need and start shopping it. Budget for it. And everybody, please have a blessed day, and hopefully we'll be back again tomorrow for another edition at 7 p.m. of Coffee Talk. Thank you, and God bless.